Alright, so I had to redo that video, but the sentiments are the same. The reason why I'm making this video is I feel obligated. Not because of someone who, went through things, but as a black man, I feel like it's my obligation to share my experiences so that someone else who may be going through this or something similar can get a little bit help or insight on how to navigate that potentially, right? I won't make this video long, but I'll definitely make sure it's impactful. So for over 10 years, I've been a regular smoker. And I mean, I smoke probably half an ounce a week. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes more than that. And a lot of times more than that. And, to the point where sometimes I will roll up like 5-6 blunts and just take it with me outside for like just little store trips, or like just, if I have an interview or I have to do something, I couldn't get away from it. And it's because it numbed me. It numbed me to just all my my senses and the things that I was feeling, the things I was going through. It helped me navigate uncomfortable situations. It helped me navigate, very tumultuous relationships with people in my life. It did a lot for me, but at the same time, I didn't know until recently that it was keeping so much anger and emotion bottled up. It was keeping me under control. Now, I recently had a medical emergency, and thank God for pulling me through that. But because of that, I medically couldn't smoke. Like, I just couldn't. It just made it just exasperated the issue. So I was forced to get sober. And I didn't start feeling the crave. Again, I was so sick, so I wasn't feeling the cravings or the urges. But the side effect that I did get was something that I didn't really expect. And that was just a full force of all my emotions coming up at one time. So I've been very, very angry lately for a while now, because I haven't been smoking. And I'm just starting to just feel so much and see so much and be pushed into reality. And I never really practiced my skills of learning to self-regulate and how to maturely navigate through moments of conflict or emotional trouble. Now, the easiest thing to do is blame other people. I could blame my parents for that. I could blame, ex-girlfriends for that. I could blame, fucked up friends, whatever. But it's so easy to do that. But the real challenge is understanding that it's really you. Like, you determine what you do, how you do it. Even if you're influenced by others, it's your job to control that. And I never practiced that, because every time I would feel uncomfortable about anything in my life, I would just roll up a blunt, smoke up, and just keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us do. But recently, all this shit hit the fan, and that anger finally got me into some shit. And I'm not going to speak too much on it. I want to be vague for clear reasons. And then when you compound the depression, the anger, the sadness with ego, as a black man, it's hard for me to walk away from conflict, especially if it's another man. Growing up, being like the older boy in the family, I've always had to, so to say, get in the field. I was selling drugs at 14, so I had to really be aggressive. And I wasn't really an aggressive person. I was a very sweet person, emotional person. I'm a Cancer. I cry a lot, even over movies and shit. My favorite movie is Titanic and shit. That shit still brings tears to me. But I never really learned how to regulate my emotions, and that's something as an adult you cannot afford not to be able to do. So recently, God has allowed me to get myself into a moment of learning, is what I'll say. Again, I want to keep all of this vague for obvious reasons. A moment of learning, and there's nobody to come save you when you're out here in the world moving around and with this energy. And when you move with this energy, you bound to find somebody that's going to take you on, or something that's going to take you on, or a situation is going to try to take you to deep waters. And those are the moments that God really wants you to, really fight hard to navigate in the proper way, the healthy way. And again, ego doesn't allow for that. Anger doesn't allow for that. Muting and pushing down all your emotions doesn't allow for that. So again, I feel like it is my obligation to share my experiences with people who may be going through it. Now, you may have another addiction. It may not be marijuana. It could be drinking. It could be pills. It could be something. But at some point, you have to face the reality that this has to end. And when it does, you're going to be faced with so many concurrent emotions. Because again, you're not living in reality. You're living in a specific bubble that these drugs and these the alcohol and all of these vices that you're partaking in, whether it's even sex too. I've had a really bad sex addiction as well. All of these things, they keep you in a bubble, so you're not really living in reality with everybody else. You're moving around in the bubble, so you're not really feeling the impact of what others are doing or what they may be saying. Now, when you stop, you're gonna realize like everything is like magnified. So you're gonna feel everything. You're gonna notice everything, things that you didn't even know. You're gonna learn a lot about yourself and what you can handle, what you can't handle, and things that you thought you were good at navigating. You realize that damn, I can't believe this is me. So I wanted to share that. Before your anger, your ego causes you to make a mistake that you cannot easily come back from with an apology or an I don't know, which is never an excuse, or I didn't know. That's never an excuse. I implore you to find an outlet. For me, it was therapy. I speak to a therapist about my feelings and my emotions and angers and things that go through. I just got out of a situation with someone that I loved dearly. I still love the person, but I've not learned how to I have not learned how to love myself in a healthy way, right? I've always been great at supporting others, but I couldn't support myself. And this has led me to where we are today. So what I would say is, if you are feeling the temptations of anger and ego, you're put in a situation where you feel like, oh, I don't want to be a bitch, I don't want to be pussy, I'm not walking away. Walk away. You know what I'm saying? Walk away. It's always better to fight another day, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what it is? In those little 10 minutes, when you get away, and 10 minutes go by, you realize that, damn, that shit was unnecessary. So why not walk away before you do something, and then it's like, oh, damn, I wish I didn't do that. It was unnecessary. So I just want to share a little insight out there with people. I feel like, yeah, we know it's hard. And nobody's blaming you for your reactions because you're human. But at the same time, you got to take ownership. You can't blame others for your problems and why you react, especially when now it's just you. There's nobody around to influence those behaviors and emotions. You just don't know how to navigate them. So talk to somebody, find a hobby, find an outlet. Some people love music. Some people like to dance. Some people draw. Some people, like to podcast or just make videos. Whatever it is, sink yourself, your time, your energy into those creative efforts so that you're able to think clearly in moments of turmoil, in moments of conflict, in moments of high tension. Because it just takes one bad day. So God bless y'all. All my love to everybody who's struggling with, pain in any form. A lot of times the world can feel so damn lonely, and the world can kick your ass, but you gotta really find that space, that peace, and what I'll say is the easiest way to help with that is God. Pray, get into them Bibles, pray. And some people don't know how to pray. I still don't really know how to pray too well, but what someone told me is that you can talk to God like he's the homie. You don't have to talk to him all formal in the way they teach you in Sunday school and church. You can speak to him as if you were speaking to someone else, as if you were speaking to yourself, because he's always there with you. He exists inside. So that's my little insight for you. I think this video a little bit too long, but I want to share a little insight because I think it's my obligation to share my experiences so someone else can learn from me. Take care.